YouTube Niner Empire, what is going down? Welcome back to another video. John Lynch announced today that the 49ers will be releasing Javon Hargrave. During the offseason press conference or end of season press conference, he confirmed that Javon Hargrave's time with the team will likely end. The 49ers will plan to release him with a post-June 1 designation to ease the impact on the salary. This move also expected. Javon Hargrave, he's turning 32 in February, and he missed all but 3 games this season with a torn tricep. He missed practically the entire season with the torn tricep. Again, expected. This is a situation that, the 49ers paid him $84 million ahead of the 2023 season. 4-year, $84 million contract. And he really just hasn't lived up to it. I love Javon Hargrave. He's a very, he kind of helped anchor this defensive line last year. That clearly led to, a ferocious 49ers defensive line that put tons of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. He tears his triceps week 3. He's done for the year. And obviously, the 49ers are kind of just letting him see what kind of deals are available to him before they attempt to kind of negotiate a new contract. So there is a chance that he could be back. I don't think he will. I think there's going to be a team out there that pays him more than what the 49ers are going to want to pay him. I definitely think this was also expected. I'm a big fan of Javon Hargrave. Loved the signing at the time, bringing him over from Philly, but clearly the injury really hurt his chances. And I think really during the time that he was on the field this year, there wasn't like anything that told me that he was making a very big impact on the defensive line. There wasn't any telling eye test or anything like that. There wasn't necessarily a game that I looked at and thought like, man, like Javon Hargrave's the reason that like we're stopping the run here or that we're having so much success on defense. Again, expected, not surprised. He hasn't lived up to the contract. And, I think, this is just, the start of some of the tougher decisions that the 49ers are going to have to make. I definitely think Javon Hargrave move was obviously expected, but there's going to probably be a few moves that they make this offseason that's kind of surprising for most. Maybe this Javon Hargrave news surprises some people. To me, it doesn't. I kind of knew this was coming, especially knowing just like even last year, I don't think he really lived up to what the 49ers were paying him. So, that's no knock on Javon Hargrave. He's getting older. He's slowing down. Again, the Niners are going to attempt to re-sign him at a much lower salary cap number. But again, he's most likely played his last year in San Francisco, and again, he's probably going to head somewhere else. So, in other news, the 49ers did announce that Deebo Samuel is expected to remain on the roster and play for the team in 2025. A lot of people probably not happy with that. I love Deebo. It would be very hard for me to kind of see him go elsewhere, even though he's had a pretty brutal year for the most part. He's coming off of his worst season of his career. But again, the 49ers love him. He's definitely a locker room guy, a leader of this team. He's a captain. He's still under contract. They did restructure his contract, I believe, going into last season. Kyle Shanahan spoke, and John Lynch spoke today again at the end of season press conference, and they both said, he's a good player. He's done a lot for this team. We're not in the business of letting good players out of here. again, I mean, a lot of people think he's not a good player anymore. He's getting older. He's no longer an effective wide receiver because he can't beat man-to-man coverage. I get all of those things, but again, a lot of people also kind of think too, like they drafted Ricky Pearsall. Brandon Ayuk will be back. The emergence of Javon Jennings, which technically to me, not necessarily an emergence. This guy has been doing things like Javon Jennings has been doing things like he's did this year. He's just really got the opportunity to play almost every snap, and be in every scheme possible that the offense calls. So to me, that the Javon Jennings emergence is not surprising at all. It's not even technically to me an emergence. This guy's been this player. I don't know though, man. I definitely think Deebo, obviously, if he's back and if what they're saying is true, he could slide on the depth chart. I mean, I definitely think he could be fourth behind Javon Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Brandon Ayuk. He also struggled at running back this year. He averaged just 3.2 yards per carry this year. I don't know. He's definitely a good kick returner. I will say that. He also has complained a few times about not getting the ball too much, and then obviously going into that Rams game just a few weeks ago in a must-win situation, he has a crucial drop that could have put the 49ers over the top to win that game. He had a lot of drops this year. Again, coming off of his worst season of his career. But we'll see. Anything could happen. Just because they're saying that they expect him to be back and that they want him back doesn't necessarily mean that he will be back. However, knowing Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, I would be shocked if he's not back. So, again, didn't have a good year. It is what it is. I definitely think next year he could make better. But, again, the 49ers could definitely slide him down the depth chart. He may not be in the position that he's always been in. He could definitely slide. Ricky Pearsall, the way he came back from being shot, and the way that he kind of emerged towards the end of the year, really started getting things in gear towards the end of the year. The way he just played in the last few games, it looks like a promising wide receiver. It looks like a future Deebo Samuel replacement. I don't know if he obviously is as explosive as Deebo is when he gets the ball, but Ricky Pearsall is still a very young player. He's going to be a great player in this league, and he doesn't have to be the next Deebo Samuel. He's Ricky Pearsall. He's a different player, different person. But I definitely think, the Niners and Kyle Shanahan in this offense, they have shown, they have ran plays for Ricky Pearsall that they would normally run for Deebo Samuel, and I think they're just trying to see how he is in that kind of Deebo Samuel role. We didn't see too much of it, but he's clearly fast. He's got incredible hands. He's one hell of a route runner, which probably has Deebo beat in that regard. But man, Javon Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, and Brandon Ayuk, those are guys that are very high level route runners. Deebo Samuel's not really that guy. He's a guy that is good with the ball in his hands, which is a luxury to have, especially in the NFL, and the way the 49ers kind of run their offense. It's important to have a guy like Deebo, but again, what happened in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, last year, I guess, not even 2 years ago, what was kind of the main thing that, the offense struggled with? Creating separation. Even Brandon Ayuk had trouble in the Super Bowl getting separation. So, they got to get guys that are good in creating separation. And I think they have a great arsenal with Jennings, Ayuk, and Pearsall. So those are the roster updates, though. So they do plan to cut Javon Hargrave, but they do plan on keeping Deebo Samuel for 2025. Obviously, we'll see if anything changes. But as of now, that's what was said during the end of season press conference. So it seemed to me the way John Lynch talked about Deebo is, he was pretty firm on his answer. So I wouldn't be shocked if he's back. Clearly they're saying that he will be back, so I expect him to be back. But again, it's the NFL. Anything could happen. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of both of these moves in the comments down below. Again, the 49ers are planning to cut Javon Hargrave, but hope to get him back at a lower contract, at a cheaper contract. And then again, Deebo Samuel expected to be back for 2025. Let me know what you guys think of these moves in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one.